So I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about mega carriers and some of the downfalls of working for a mega carrier and some of the benefits. So as most of you know, I used to work for a mega carrier. Now, what really qualifies a company as a mega carrier, I don't know. But I know that if you've got 5,000 trucks, like my last company, Knight Transportation, does, that qualifies you. Now, there are a lot of so-called mega carriers out there. You've got Swift, you've got Warner, you've got Knight, you've got Schneider, USA Truck, Western Express. There's a lot of the big dogs out there. Now, while most of the smaller companies, like the company that I work for now, require you to have years of experience before you can work for them, you're kind of in a tough spot when you're trying to get into trucking. And without that experience, unless you know somebody that owns a truck, has their own authority, and can get you on their insurance, most people, not all, but most, are stuck starting out with a mega carrier. Now, the majority of mega carriers are publicly traded, which means they have shareholders, investors, and people that the owners, the original owners of the company, have to answer to. When the owners of a company have to answer to someone else, the family feel goes away. Now, if any of you guys saw the video that I did called Busted by the DOT, you'll understand kind of what I'm getting at here. And the fact is, most mega carriers, you can't trust them. Me, I promoted Knight Transportation up and down, swore by that company, and told everybody that it was a great place to be. Now, while I think that Knight is still a great place to start out, it's definitely not a place where you can have a very long trucking career and excel. You can obviously be there for a long time and drive, just like any other place. It just depends on how long you can put up with the mega carrier life. By the mega carrier life, I mean all of the policies and procedures and company rules, including all of the corporate answers. Like when you have a problem and you call your dispatcher and you say, you know, this is happening or that is happening, or I need this or I need that. Let me get back to you. I've got to send an email. Or wait a minute, we're going to have a conference call. Or the ever so popular, I can't do that. I've got to get approval. If you saw the video that I did, Knight screwed me. I got lied to. And unfortunately, I didn't know that I got lied to until after I'd already left the company. Now, after I found out that the state of Oregon had suspended my driving privilege because of an unpaid overweight ticket that Knight was supposed to take care of, I reached out to Knight Transportation. I sent an email to various people throughout the company, from my old dispatcher all the way up to one of the senior vice presidents, and I didn't get a response from anyone. Now, while I can only speak about Knight Transportation because it's the only mega carrier company that I've ever worked for, I'm pretty sure that the majority of them are set up the same way. I worked with a lot of great people at Knight, and I enjoyed the time that I had there, but I was treated differently. Treated differently? Yes, treated differently. Why? Because I made YouTube videos. Because I recruited drivers. Now, I feel like I should have saw this coming in one way or another, but I didn't. Now, to top it all off, I didn't get paid for the last load that I did. While it may have only been, I don't know, $90 or $100, the fact remains, I didn't get paid for that load. But enough about the negative things that I experienced at a mega carrier. Let's talk about some of the positive stuff. The positive things include the fact that the majority of them have rather large contracts with big companies, so they have a plethora of freight the majority of the time. They also have things in place to make sure that you can be successful your first few years in the industry, which is also good. They offer training, and there's always somebody that you can call. I've said it, other YouTubers have said it, and I'll say it again. No matter what you do when you're trying to get into the industry, make sure that you do your research on the company that you're interested in. Also remember, mega carriers large carriers, medium-sized carriers, they're all in this industry to make money. That's all they're here for. For these mega carriers, though, the ones with thousands of trucks, you're just an ass in the seat. Night transportation was good to me while I was there. So, I just want to stress that it was a great place for me to start out. I received good training. I worked with a lot of great people, but I fucked up. I didn't double check my license when I received that ticket because I trusted them. And that was my downfall. Mega carriers are oh wow, I don't really know. I mean, now that I'm on the other side, I can definitely see what other people were talking about. Mega carriers are ruining this industry. Why? Because they have thousands of trucks. They can accept freight at super low rates, and it screws the little guys. It makes it a lot harder for somebody like me or like some of you that own a truck, that have payments, all of these things, to get higher freight rates, right? Because these shippers, these customers, can go with one of the mega carriers and pay pennies per mile. But what you have to remember about that is that if a company can accept pennies per mile, that's all they're gonna pay you. So mega carriers, you gotta start somewhere. So, I mean, you've got to roll the dice. But ask for advice from people that have been in the industry, because they will tell you the horror stories that people have told them from some of the mega carriers that they've worked for. And I guarantee you that the majority of people that you see on YouTube, myself, Little Guy, Ike Stevens, Thor, Ron Duncan, Allie Knight, everybody has worked for a mega carrier at some point, and they can give you some kind of advice. Just do your research. Do your research. And only trust yourself. Don't trust a mega carrier.
He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man.